So when I wrote to the ministers, in the main, I wanted to communicate a message that they are about to appoint someone who, in actual fact, should be charged criminally. And I say this because all the evidence that we have here, even long before I write to the ministers, on the 22nd of April, General Sibiya himself had voluntarily placed this evidence in his High Court affidavit. So by the time I write to the ministers, I write to the ministers on evidence that he himself has placed out there publicly. So what does this evidence then say? And I capture this in paragraph 14 and 15 of my statement. As to the employment of General Sibiya, so the employment of General Sibiya is a simple one. He applies to be a unit head in the city of Johannesburg. And the advert goes out in October 2016. Then the interviews run on the 7th of November, and General Sibiya is appointed on the following day, and he becomes the unit head. That's basically the only appointment letter that General Sibiya has. A unit head in the city of Johannesburg is a director. Yeah. All right. So that's happened in 2016 in November. In January 2017, General Sibiya is masquerading as a head of department. In actual fact, there's a report that he signs. In this report, he signs this report as if he's a head of department. Even though he's appointed as a unit head, this report, he signs it through a title that nobody else knows, of a commissioner. So in that report, it says that General Sibiya was appointed now as the head of chiefs. That's a report in January. So in the space of 2 months, you've got someone who comes in January, in November as a unit head. In January, this person is a group head. There is no recruitment process for the second appointment. Nobody knows how General Sibiya becomes a head of department. So when you go to that report, the one that says he is now a head of department.
And who is responsible for that?
For that report?
Really unlawful appointment.
You
said there was no process that was.
According to the affidavit of General Sibiya, he was appointed through a report that was signed by Mr. Mashaba. So, and when you go to that report, indeed, it have got a signature of Mr. Mashaba. But there's a list of officials.
And Mr. Machapi.
Mr. Mashaba. Mashaba, the former mayor of Johannesburg, Mr. Mashaba.
Oh, Mashlaba.
Yes, Mashaba. So he says that in his own state affidavit before court that he was appointed through a report signed by Mr. Mashaba. If you've been in local government, there's no report of a mayor that can appoint anybody. The mayors don't have appointing powers.
Even executive mayors?
No, can't appoint an official. There are two institutions that appoint, authorities that appoint officials. It's the council, it appoints heads of departments. Then the next one is the city manager. So even if you had wanted to dream that there was an appointment done by Mr. Mashaba, that would have been a bogus appointment because in any event, he doesn't have any power to appoint. Two, there would not have been an appointment simply because there ought to have been a recruitment process before that. So that's January and November. The nice thing about it, SC, is that this plan to make Shadrack Sibiya a head of department is hashed on the 4th of November, 3 days before he's appointed. A legal opinion is sought to check as to whether, even though he's applying to be a unit head, is going to be interviewed for a unit position. A legal opinion is being sought as to whether he cannot be made a head of department. And the legal opinion says, no, you can't do that. And that legal opinion is dated the 8th of November 2016, a day after General Sibiya had attended an interview. So it starts there, it gets hashed there. The legal opinion, the nice thing about it, again, it have got the same signatures. The same signatures of the very people who are going to say General Sibiya is an HOD.
Can you take a breath? Take a breath. We are on a donkey cart, and you are on a motorbike.
Okay, sorry, sir.
The chronology that you give us here is very important. Don't be agitated. Just relax, so that we were able to follow what you are saying. When was, you say the date of the 4th is the date on which the legal opinion was sought?
Is the 8th, my apologies, Chairperson. Is the 8th.
No, the 8th is the date on which the legal opinion is received.
That's the date that I want to refer to, because I would not know when exactly it would have been sought, but it would have been after the 4th.
When did you have sight of, sorry, Chair. When did you have sight of the legal opinion? And was it when you were in the city manager's office?
Yes, during the moment when I was in the city manager's office. Remember, in my statement, I say to you, these things were brought to our attention by various whistleblowers in the city of Johannesburg. And that happens early in 2022, all of these documents and what had transpired here. So that happens early in 2022.
So when you take us back now to 2016 and his appointment then and the legal opinion, that's after you had now fact-checked
Yes.
the whistleblowers' allegations that were made in 2022.
Yes, in early in 2022. But remember, I said to you, there's already his affidavit listing these documents, 80% of them on an affidavit at the High Court. So that's what we were dealing with here. So what the chairperson was.
And what was that application, the High Court application?
Okay.
We know of the one between him and the National Commission of Police. It's not that one.
It's not that one.
Yeah.
So what happens is this: once this information was brought to our attention in the office of the city manager, we then ask a firm, a legal firm, to give us a preliminary view. What are they saying from these documents? And that report is called the Zebediela report, and you shall find is Annexure MM2. It's on page 2 to page 72.
Sorry?
It's on page 2 of my affidavit. It's on page.
No, the report itself.
It's on page 31. My apologies. Page 31 to page 72. It's called a document review report. So we took all of this information. We gave it.
For ease of reference, the page numbers that you're going to refer to, especially your annexures.
It's annexures, yes. It's annexure MM.
The numbers in Koki on the bottom right.
Yes, these annexures that are in Koki pen. So those are numbers in Koki pen. So everything in Koki pen. So on page 31 to page 72, these lawyers give us this. They say, look, and if in this report they say we advise you to launch a full-blown investigation. So they review all of these documents and then they say, we advise you to launch a full-blown investigation because there seems to be prima facie evidence that General Sibiya was fraudulently employed or unlawfully employed. So all that this thing says, do a full-blown
So
investigation.
was this, I'm looking now at page 72. The recommendations start at page 70
Yes, Chair.
and for example, then on page 71, 10.1.1, that the purported conversion of Mr. Sibiya's employment, and conditions of service be rescinded in terms of the Systems Act, and that his contract of employment be treated as a 5-year fixed-term contract as is provided for in the legislation. Then it refers to his substantive position as unit head.
Yes,
Was made
Chairperson.
redundant in 2017. That an independent investigator be appointed to investigate Mr. Sibiya's appointment as unit head
Yes,
and the
Chairperson.
subsequent irregular and unlawful conversion
Yes,
of his appointment.
yes,
And that the council in 10.2 must take the following actions.
yes,
They must authorize 10.2.1 on page 72.
yes,
City the
Chairperson.
manager to appoint an independent investigator and should place Mr. Sibiya on immediate suspension pending
Yes.
the outcome of such investigation.
Yes,
And then to appoint a senior counsel with experience in the field of intelligence to conduct an investigation
yes,
into matters, and again, should place Mr. Sibiya.
yes.
So these recommendations, the report goes to the speaker and to members of council, and also that the report be submitted to the public, the then public protector,
Yes,
and to the Inspector General at the time, Mr. Dintwe.
you're reading on page 31.
So were those actions taken?
That's the point. Is that the moment the report, we hand it over to Mayor Palazzi and to Speaker Dagam. No, they blocked the report from entering council. This is when then it created an opportunity for General Sibiya to launch this High Court application to set aside this report. I mean, how do you go to court and set aside what is clearly legal opinion? So he goes to court, he does that, but here's the benefit. When we were preparing to oppose him,
So it was all contrived.
yes,
He knew that he goes to court, it's not going to be opposed.
yes. So there was already a decision taken behind our backs. Remember, we are the ones who oppose the office of the city manager. Behind our backs that he's not going to be opposed. And that is why in his affidavit, he was honest enough to place all documents about his appointment, even though it's highly questionable and unlawful, because he knew he's going to get an unopposed order. And that's exactly what happened.
And then what do you at the time were you aware of this opinion and the recommendations?
Remember this report, this
this
advisory report.
But then at the time you weren't aware, or when do you become aware of the?
You mean the advisory report?
Yeah.
From Zebediela attorneys.
Yeah.
We commissioned that report because what happened is that once we got all of this information from the whistleblowers, we commissioned to say, advise us how to treat all of these things. But because at that time he knows he's going to be protected, so it gets stopped. It never reached council. And suddenly a high court application comes, decisions are taken, it must not be opposed, to save General Sibiya. The point that I'm raising, Chairperson, is that when he came here, the first thing that he told these members of parliament, he says I was cleared by a court. Doesn't tell you the story.
It was an unopposed application, court application.
He got it unopposed. The lawyers that we had appointed, there's an email that says, do not oppose. so that he comes into platforms like this and claim to have been cleared. The nice thing about it is that didn't save him, because right somewhere in 2023, another report managed to enter council. Why? There was a shift of power early in January. Early in January, there's a shift of power.
In the city of Joburg.
In the city of Joburg.
How many shifts of power?
I don't know how many shifts,
No,
but I know about that one. So once the shift of power happens, then the administration moved away from the DA to the ANC, as you guys will know, it's public information, Chief Whip, to the ANC. So that is when the opportunity to go to council arises. And the speaker at that time is Speaker Colleen Makobele. So she opens up a space for these things to enter council. And that is why then, once it entered, that investigation that he thought he's going to avoid
where is Mr. or General Sibiya then?
Is gone. He's gone to the South African Police Service at that time, because he leaves end of June 2022. He leaves. And then
was that shortly after he claims he was cleared by a court?
Exactly.
With his unopposed application.
Exactly. So he leaves. He goes and joins the South African Police, because at that time he had won. I think he had won a case of reinstatement. So he was going to be reinstated as the component head for organized crime, if I still recall. So that's the 1st of July 2022. On this other side, all things are still blocked. Remember, he must be protected. All things are still blocked. But then there was a shift of power, as I say, but that shift of power becomes real in January 2023. And that's when then another report went to the council, and that's what you see on page 30, where council then says, on page 30 in annexure MM1.
30.
Page 30.
Yeah.
No, the bold, the cookie pen, let's see. Annexure MM1. On the 21st of June 2023, the council then decided that everything that was ever said about General Sibiya must be investigated. And that is why then you see here, there was a committee that was established by council to look into these matters. And that information is also important for the committee, that what I'm saying here is evidence that I've already given before this committee that you see on page 30. Everything that I'm saying here has been given there as evidence. It's public information, because this committee was running public hearings. So my affidavit in that committee is there. It have got exactly the same things that I'm saying here.
Now, just pause at page 30. This is the terms of reference of the Special and Independent Investigation Committee.
Yes, sir.
The Speaker notifies the public that on 13th ordinary meeting on Wednesday, 21 June 2023, Council resolved to appoint a Special and Independent Investigation Committee. The committee is appointed to investigate the lawfulness or otherwise of the establishment of the Group Forensic and Investigation Services, as well as allegations of improper and unlawful conduct on the part of GIFS. So no specific mention is made of General Sibiya in these terms of reference.
Yes.
Yeah. And then,
if you continue to read, it says the said complaints relate to allegations of fraud, corruption, maladministration, breach of law by GIFS and others, and in particular to the establishment of GIFS as a separate unit or department, its inherent powers without approval by the municipal council, and the appointment of the head of GIFS. So there it is.
Oh, is that the reference to Sibiya?
Yes, without compliance with the applicable recruitment process and even his own unlawful investigations that he was conducting. So it's quite a comprehensive scope.
But by now he's already out of the system.
But this is important because council take this decision, Chairperson, on the 21st of June 2023. A week later, General Sibiya is about to be promoted to be the Deputy National Commission. And that's very important for this commission. And he had come here saying, I was appointed and promoted because I was cleared. And I'm demonstrating to you that a week before, a comprehensive investigation is being launched by council. So had General Cele or General Mesuli have done a proper vetting, they should have just called the city of Johannesburg and say, is there any things that are outstanding about this fellow? Because if you read the letter of appointment of General Sibiya, he must give a certification that is a man of proper conduct. That's what is required of him. There's a certificate that he must file with Mesuli. They did not do proper vetting. We would have told them that no, that fellow, as far as I and others are concerned, he's a fugitive from the law. He had not been cleared by the city of Johannesburg. And this is important for two reasons.
Well, it's not quite a fugitive from the law. Is if these allegations that were found to exist against him or to be believed, then he's not a man or a person of integrity to hold such a high position. And of course, his failure to disclose even the fact that there was such an investigation and that findings were made that his appointment there as group head was unlawful or irregular. He didn't make those disclosures.
No, he would not have, because he has told you here that as far as is concerned, he was cleared. Sorry?
He was cleared in court.
He said, when he appeared before, he said three things. He said, I was cleared by the court, I was cleared by the public protector, I was cleared by the SSA. And I've demonstrated to you in respect of one, or the fourth one was that he said he was cleared by the NPA. I've demonstrated in respect of the court one too, that it was an unopposed order. Favor was done. I will say to you, without even hearing it from me, there's a letter of the public protector, I think it was read here by Honorable Shongwe. The public protector says, no, I didn't know about the allegations of fraud around you. Did not investigate that. So the public protector can't clear you on something that she never investigated. She said, evidence was concealed from me. There's a letter in this record, and I will refer to it at some stage. So we know that the public protector did not clear him because evidence of his malfeasance in respect of his appointment and corruption was never placed for the public protector.
And you had brought this to the attention of the then Minister of Police, was that General Kele. Go to MM9. MM9 on page 114.
114.
Yeah. This is I'm not sure whether it's Mr. or Mrs. or what the title, but Pokani, Phokane, and Pokani is writing back to you.
Council, where are you?
On page 114, annexure MM9.
114. So, if with your indulgence, Chairperson, we may want to start on page 88. That's where my report is to General Bekicele. It's on page 88. So you would see the heading. I'm not going to bother you with the heading at this stage, but what it does, it talks about the very things. Now, this report is dated 20 June 2022. Council at this stage still blocked because the...
Okay, so city letterhead, and it's dated 20 June. It's on page 88.
Yes.
And
And if you go on page 90, it's the same letter to the Minister of Comm'nr. So I'm writing to two ministers about this, the one of local government and the one where Sibiya is living.
MM6 is to the Comm'nr minister, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
to the minister where he is going. And then on page 92, MM7.
And the annexure that I refer to MM9 on 114, that is where your letter it should be of June, not one, or it says 1 August.
Yeah, let me assist to counsel.
Acknowledged by the minister.
Let me assist to counsel. On page 92, it's MM7. So when I wrote to the ministers, I would have attached the entire report about the conduct of Sibiya it's on page 92. Right?
That is to the speaker.
Yes. So
And to the public protector.
It's a report that the speaker was blocking from entering council. So it would have been my report that I would have, I started internally before I go external. So I attached that report to say, I've already satisfy the internal process. Then if you go on page 106, it's MM8. I then supplement my report, both to the Minister of Police and the Minister of Comm'nr. So I supplement because at this time, we have become aware that not only this General Sibiya is fraudulently employed. We've discovered that he has also bought a spyware. And there's a letter of the SSA that gives the name to this spyware at this time. And I'll take you to that letter at some stage. So,
what page is that, the reference to the spyware of this annexure?
It's on page 106,
Yeah.
where annexure MM8.
Yeah, I'm on page 106.
Yes, if you read the heading of the report, it says that a supplementary report to request action to be taken regarding the evidence of state security agents, which implicates the then fraudulently employed head of chiefs on crime intelligence-related offenses. So this is where we discovered that in 2019, he has been owning, since April 2019, he's been owning a spyware. And so I then supplement my report, right? And that report goes on up until to page 113. Now, I'm in the annexure where you were. So, page 114 is annexure MM9. Now you've got the minister's office. The only minister who responded to me is Minister Cel, and this is very material for this committee. He was here. What did he say? He said, I don't know who this Mesuli is. Who? Mesuli? Who? Mlandu? I don't know that person. 2, I've never received any report from Mlandu. And 3, who the hell he think he is that he can write to the minister? Those are the 3 things that he said here. Now, if you read...
You're quoting him.
No. Who does he think he is?
Strong, although we sometimes even stronger language.
Yes, who does he think he is? Can he write to the minister? And I just want to read the email to place him before you, that this is the email from the Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff is M. Pokane, and it is dated the 4th of August, 2022. So M. Pokane...
Where are you now? Which page?
On page 114.
Oh, sorry.
On page 114.
Oh, Pokane.
So if you look at the heading of the email, it talks about my supplementary report. He says, and you look at it, it's addressed to so many people, not just me, even there's a DPSI, I don't know who are those people there. He says, good day, Mr. Mlandu. Your below email dated 1 August with the above subject matter and attached report is hereby well acknowledged by the Office of the Minister of Police. The contents of the report has been brought, not will be brought, has been brought to the attention of the minister, and the necessary feedback shall be submitted in due course. I trust the above is well in order. Here is a former national minister appearing on a platform that is as serious as this, ridiculing me, ridiculing my efforts to fight fraud and corruption, speaking as if I am nothing. He did not know that I've got an email sitting somewhere that I will introduce before this committee from his own office. And I will request that this committee pay attention to this. You can't afford to have such a senior figure in our public service coming here to tell lies. And if this committee is going to be a place where people can just come and speak and say things, ridicule executives. I mean, I was an executive in the city. I was not a junior official. In actual fact, I was an executive. He said here, he knew the chief of police and all of those people. A chief of police in the city of Johannesburg is junior to me. He knew my juniors, but he was busy here ridiculing me as if I'm junior. So all I'm saying to you is that here's the email. His office says my reports were brought to his attention. So I reported these things to both Minister Cele and Minister Ngadiming, and both of them never acted. And Minister Ngadiming, and both of them never acted.
Yeah.
So by the time, because it's still August 2022, there's going to be a promotion of Sibiya in July, of General Sibiya in July 2023. So they knew about this. They knew about it. Thanks, Chair.